Richard Fitzwilliams, royal commentator, is joining us live from London. Good evening to you. This is Prince Harry's first statement since deciding to step back. Some say while the Queen has shown her power, Harry has shown heart in this decision.
I think that the Queen did what had to be done, because what Harry and Meghan wanted, they wanted a progressive modernisation of the monarchy, and they wanted to be part of it by having half, so to speak, of them doing royal duties on behalf of the Queen, and the other half, so to speak, doing their own thing and making money and creating their own brand. I mean, the trouble was these two things basically are incompatible. If, for example, they chose something to endorse something that was controversial, who would arbitrate on this? How would this be seen if they made a mistake, something was tasteless that happened and so on? It was a very difficult balance to strike. As you saw in that speech, Harry was very, very unhappy with the conclusion of what the Queen and other senior royals, frankly, decided had to be done, and that is that the Sussexes, though they'll keep their titles, they won't use them. They will step down from all royal duties on behalf of the Queen, and they will have the independence they crave. They've also got to give back £2.4 million of taxpayers' money for Frogmore Cottage, which is their residence in Britain. This was a subject of some debate. And it has been clear as well that when you've had debates on this and polls, there have been a lot of people sympathetic to the Sussexes, but they haven't wanted to pay, and there are enormous security costs in balancing their time between Britain and where they'll spend most of it in Canada.
Meghan has always been somewhat controversial, even from 2018 when they got married. She's a divorced American Catholic-raised woman of colour. How much has this had to do with their decision?
This has been very controversial because after the divisions of Brexit, we've had what's called Mexit. The fact that so many people were thrilled, and I was one of them, when Meghan joined the royal family, because it was very significant in an American divorcee, person of colour, a former actress, someone to modernise the royal family, and 60% of members of the Commonwealth, people in the Commonwealth, are under 30. The problem, though, has been that she is unquestionably very controlling. There have been accusations that there's been a lot of racism. I would certainly agree online. I think the trolling has been obnoxious. There have also been some articles with racist undertones, but the overwhelming amount of the press was favourable. It was hagiographic at the time when they were engaged and also when they married. Subsequent to that, we had these rumours that all wasn't well with the royal households and the relations between the brothers and the duchesses. And subsequent to that, when Archie was born, and since then, a series of things, his christening held in secret, so to speak, or the godparents kept secret, Meghan's guest editorship of Vogue, environmental problems when they took private jets, and also the trip to South Africa, which led to a documentary where they said how unhappy they were. It was obvious that something was going to happen. I'd hoped that they'd remain within the royal family, but there isn't, it seems, a balance to be got here, because they released a statement saying what they wanted without telling the Queen and other senior royals 10 days ago, and that is unforgivable.
Yes, in his speech he also made mention of the British media's vicious coverage of the couple. He said that the media were a powerful force. This, of course, has had a huge impact on their relationship and as individuals.
Oh, there's no doubt they feel terribly pressurized by the media. But here is the problem. I always saw them as a dynamic duo following in the footsteps of Princess Diana for charitable purposes. And the trouble with that is she had a fatefully symbiotic relationship with the media. You simply can't exist in the Royal Goldfish Bowl without the media. They will find, if, as is thought, they may relocate eventually to California, that they will find the media scrutiny is perhaps even crueler, though, with the paparazzi still operative. Here, the British tabloids, yes, and there's no doubt, I mean, talk about media circus over the last 2 weeks, it's been absolutely phenomenal. All throughout the world, everyone's fascinated by this. It's been very, very sad, because their wedding was only about 19 months or 20 months ago. And the other thing, of course, is that they had so much hope as modernizing members of the monarchy. But they were so controlling and also so emphatic as if they said something was private, it was private, whether or not it was. And this particular style over months, together with lots of rumours, some of which seem to be true. Very, very sad, for example, Harry and Meghan. I mean, viewers will remember them when very young, walking behind their mother's coffin at Diana's funeral, and they had this tremendously strong bond. And then subsequently, things have recently clearly gone wrong between them.
Thank you for your time joining us this evening on Your Story. That is Richard Fitzwilliams, the royal commentator, joining us live from London.